One of the things I see really consistently is that because AI is new, because AI is something that we are all struggling to wrap our hands around, there is a sense of, oh my gosh, this is too much change. I cannot handle another net new thing. But the change keeps coming, the change keeps happening. And one of the things I want to encourage you to do is to think about your degree of understanding as something that you can approximate, get okay at understanding, and then move on to the next thing quickly, because the knowledge base is changing so fast. And I'm going to give you some specific examples here to help you understand what I mean. I think the larger takeaway is you need to think about what isn't here yet, but is on the horizon, or what is arriving in ragged edges from a tech perspective and is just sort of popping up in a few places as a sign that you should be focused on understanding that piece of tech at least enough to know what the implications are for you, for your work, for your career, and do so quickly and approximately. Just get the general idea and then keep learning, because it's going to change next week anyway. All right, so what's an example that comes to mind? AI voice is the one I want to select. At the end of the day, most of us have not had a ton of experience with AI voice. OpenAI talked about voice as a core input, but hasn't really unlocked voice for most folks yet as a way to engage with the LLM. The understanding or anecdotes out of OpenAI is that it's a real game changer, because you can talk to the LLM as a companion to figure things out while you are working on something else. So you can just say, hey, ChatGPT, can you figure this out? And then keep typing on your dock and not get distracted, not switch windows. Great. That hasn't happened yet. I love the idea. But what has happened from an AI voice perspective is that people are figuring out how to leverage voice clone technology to generate disinformation. That's happening with political ads already in the 2024 election cycle. It's also happening in business. It's happening. There was a prominent case of a Ferrari executive that broke this week in late July of 2024, where the exec got a call from someone claiming to be the CEO, and it sounded like his CEO's voice. And it was talking about mergers and acquisition and asking for corporate information, all of that. And he got suspicious and he checked, because something didn't check out. The phone number didn't check out. He was trying to understand what this person was asking for, and it just didn't feel right and aligned with what his CEO would usually ask for. And so what I want to suggest to you is not that you take that away and say, oh my gosh, I need to go and do 2 days of deep dive on AI and voice. No. I think what you need to do is understand that if you are focused on only the applications of large language models that you can see, that you can understand now, that you can use now, you're probably behind. And you actually need to think about the applications of LLMs that are right around the corner. What's right around the corner for you? What is going to arrive and feel like net new tech for most people in 6 months? That's the question. And how do you get an early approximation of that and kind of keep an eye on it? Because that's going to enable you to get an early sense of where those use cases are in your world, an early sense of where the risks are, the pitfalls are. We talked about disinformation as a risk with AI voice. I think there's also positive potential with AI voice. It would be really helpful to have human voices that are able to interact autonomously and understand data and speak data. That's a huge accessibility win. It's also a win from the perspective of being able to drive understanding of text across multiple mediums. So some people are reading and they're really fluent at reading. Sometimes you're on a walk and you just need to have it read to you. It would be really helpful if you could have it read to you with the intended inflection of the person who wrote the document, so that, James, who wrote the document, could come back and read the document to you in your ear with your voice, or with James's voice, and help you understand it as if he read and wrote it. We are pretty close to that. That is the kind of thing you should be imagining, the kind of thing you should be thinking about and understanding and reflecting on. And I don't say this because the point is that the only innovation is AI voice. I say this because if you aren't thinking that the tech up ahead is going to be transformative, you're probably missing out. And so this is my encouragement to you to say, I understand what's going on right now, approximately. We're all sort of learning this as we go. It is worth it to me to spend a little bit of time on Horizon 2, on what's up ahead, so that I don't feel as lost when the net new thing comes. And for me, AI voice is one of those things. There are other ones that come as well. Remember that AI arrives in a ragged fashion, and remember that it is okay to not completely understand what's in front of you before you move on to the next thing. Those are the things I want you to take away.